Peace, love, and light to everybody tuning in once again. Once again, I appreciate you for tuning in. To all the kings and queens out there, I send you peace, love, and light on your journey. Alright, this evening, basically, I want to touch on the topic basically called balance. Why it's actually important to live a balanced life. Or, in other words, why it's actually important to go through life being balanced or centered. Right? Alright, so basically, everybody wants to live a good life, right? Everybody wants to live a life worth living. Everybody wants to live a life filled with abundance, filled with joy. Everybody wants to live a happy life. I do not care how macho or how tough you think you are, right? Everybody wants to live a life worth living, right? But the mistake that most people make in life is that they tend to put on a mask. They tend to put on a facade. They tend to pretend, right? So they pretend to be something or someone they actually are not. Alright? But in life, you have to remember you're never really fooling anybody but yourself. To all the people that's pretending to be someone else, trying to play a role, you're not fooling anybody but yourself. For example, you can take a real nigga and put him in a room with a fake nigga, but you don't know which one is real or not. Just take a real nigga and put him in a room with a fake nigga. Right? The fake nigga is going to be exposed every time. Every time. The fake nigga is always going to be exposed. In life, it's never good to go around pretending to be someone or something that you're not. Because there will come a point in time where you will be exposed for what you really are. It's never good to pretend in life or put on a mask. Alright? Because the more you pretend, the more you pretend to be someone or something that you are not, it's the further you actually putting yourself away from the life that you could be living. Alright? In life, it's good to center yourself, balance yourself. But I'll get into what is balance then. But the more you pretend, the further you go, the further you move away from the life that you could be living. Again, the more you pretend to be someone or something that you aren't, the further you're actually moving away from the life that you could be living. Center yourself. Right? Right now, I want you to ask yourself, are you real or are you fake? Are you pretending to be someone you're not? Or are you being yourself? So balance, the topic for this evening. Right now, I burn some incense, setting the mood right all the time. You understand? So why it's actually important to be balanced, to be balanced whilst going through life? First of all, I want you to know, right? In life, there's two forces. There's the positive and there's the negative. There's the good and there's the bad. There's no way on earth or in life, you can have one without the other. Again, there's no way on earth or in life you can have one without the other. So basically, that shows you in life, we must learn to live with one while still learning to deal with the other. In life, we must learn to live with one thing, but still learning how to deal with the other. Because again, you can never have one without the other. Life is always balanced. Life is always balanced. In life, it's about learning to live with one while still learning to deal with the other. Balanced. Balanced. So if you're actually a positive person, do not make the mistake and assume that you will never get any negative situations in your life. That's a big mistake that a lot of people make. Not because you're a good person or because you're a positive person or because you're a peaceful person means that you will never have a bad situation in your life. That's not the case at all. But if you're a positive person and you're aware that they're always going to be negative, that gives you control. So when the negative do come, you react to it much better. Balanced. And again, for the people that want to be negative, if you want to be negative, you understand there was still a positive in life. You can never have one without the other. But I always recommend people that be positive. Be positive. Again, as I said in the beginning, everybody wants to live a happy life. I don't care how bad you think you are, how macho you think you are, how tough you think you are, how real you think you are. Everybody wants to live a life worth living. That's why we work. That's why we go to school. That's why we buy clothes, because we all want to mean something in this life, right? Everybody wants to live a life worth living. So I recommend everybody, you the viewer watching me right now, I recommend you always strive to be a positive person, because once again, we always attract the energy that we embody. Let me say that again. In life, we always attract the energy that we embody. You put a positive out there, positive is going to come back. Still, remember what I said. There's always going to be negative, but you're going to react to it different. You put a negative out there, negative is going to come back. You understand? You understand? So again, it's always wise to be a positive person in life. Because in life, you always attract the energy that you embody. Always. Right? So it's actually very important to live a balanced life, or basically go through life being centered or balanced. Right? But always wise to choose to be a good person. So when you choose to be basically a good person, or a positive person, or a peaceful person, big up to all my brothers and my fellow kings and queens out there on their spiritual journey, sending you love, peace, and light again. You know, a lot of people will come across other people that think like when someone is peaceful, when someone is positive, it means that they're weak. Don't make that mistake. Ensure that you're not the one making that mistake. Don't ever believe because someone is peaceful or someone is positive means that that person is weak. Never make that mistake, right? That's a huge misunderstanding. You know, some of the most realest people, the most peaceful people that I know in this life are also some of the most dangerous people out there. You know, some of the most realest people in this life, peaceful, positive. These same people can be the most dangerous people. You know, I always look at peaceful people as like sleeping lions. I won't even say sleeping lions, basically lions, because lions don't really excite themselves. You know, you know. So just like a foolish hunter will see a lion, or an ignorant hunter will see a lion, on its own heights. He may think, okay, the lion is probably sick or it's weak or whatever, because the lion sees him, but the lion doesn't react. You understand? But then he's going to make the wrong move. Similar to peaceful people or positive people. Don't ever make the mistake and think that because someone is peaceful and positive means that they are actually weak. You know? I like to always use nature as an example because nature is always balanced. Nature is always balanced. Like for example, let's look at nature. Nature is very peaceful, right? Very harmonious, very generous. You see the sunrise, very peaceful. The sunsets, very peaceful. You know, nature provides food for all living organisms. It's very generous. The sounds of the birds, the sounds of a stream or the rivers flowing, fresh air. All that is basically nature in its peaceful state. But nature can also be very destructive. You understand? Nature can be very destructive. For example, we have things like earthquakes, things like volcanic eruptions, things like tsunamis, things like hurricanes, things like tornadoes, and so much more. And there's a lot more. Nature is always balanced. So take nature as an example of peaceful people. Don't make the mistake and believe that because someone is peaceful, because someone is peaceful and because someone is positive, means that that person is weak. But again, it's good and wise to live a balanced lifestyle. It's always good and wise to live a balanced lifestyle. When you're centered, when you're balanced, you're actually more in control of yourself and your environment. You're more in control of yourself. You're more aware of the things that goes on around you. You understand? You take control of situations externally and internally. You don't just react without thinking. Alright? But again, remember in life, there's no way that you can have one without the other. It's always wise to keep that in mind. Not because you're positive means that you'll never experience negative, but you can deal with it way better. So basically, examples of balancing yourself. Ways that you can basically balance yourself, right? The first way that you can balance yourself is my personal favorite, meditation. 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 Meditation is my personal favorite because it really and truly puts you into a state where you basically observe. You basically observe. You observe your thoughts, you understand, you observe your feelings. It puts you into a trance where you can have more control of yourself when you come out of that meditation state. Alright? So basically, meditation is one way that you can center yourself. Another way that you can live a more balanced lifestyle, or basically center yourself, do things you love. What do you love to do? When you do things that you love, you actually raise your own vibration. You actually become more of yourself because you're expressing yourself in a way, doing something that you love doing. You're balancing yourself. Do something you love. Do things that you love. Don't hold yourself back. What do you love to do? Right? Another way again you can balance yourself is basically take time alone. Alright? Move away from the crowd for a bit. Take time alone. Learn yourself. Figure out who you are. Silence the outside world for a time. For some time. Take time alone. Another way of balancing yourself or centering yourself. Again, another way. Listen to positive music that will basically uplift your mood. Make your music that you love, basically. Right? Do things that you love. Listen to positive music or whatever music you love to listen to. I don't really. Whatever music you love to listen to puts you into a state. It helps balance you, centers you. Right? So again, it's actually very important to go through life being centered. When you're actually unbalanced, that's when you do a lot of things that you may regret. That's when you are more reactive. You don't really think. You're easily controlled. It's wise to live a balanced life and go through life being centered. Peace, love, and light to all the kings and queens out there watching me again. Again, I thank you for taking time to hear me out this evening. And I send you nothing but success on your journey. Thanks again.